Have you ever felt overwhelmed or just stuck at where you're at right now? This is something that is very common amongst people who are entrepreneurs, creatives. If you fall into this space, this journey can seem so overwhelming, and every once in a while you might find yourself in a rut. Well, in this video, I'm going to be giving you 3 simple tips to help you get unstuck and help you get going in the direction that you want to be moving in. So stay tuned because that's coming up right now. What's going on, guys? My name is Gabe Kemezi and welcome back to my channel. On my channel, I teach you how to master your mindset so that you can build the business and lifestyle that you deserve. And today we're talking all about feeling stuck. Now, I know this topic all too well because if you're like anybody that's on this journey of becoming an entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur, being in the creative space, things can get kind of overwhelming, and it's really tough, especially when you see other people getting success, or you might be scrolling through Instagram and you feel just so out of place because you don't feel like you're making as much progress as quickly as you would like. So how do you deal with this, right? How do you get over this feeling of not making any moves, or how do you help push yourself past those moments when you don't feel like doing much? So the very first thing I recommend doing in order to get unstuck is to take some kind of action. Now, the key to this is to take small action, and you want this to be on purpose. I'm not saying go out there and really try and tackle something that's major on your to-do list. No, I'm talking about what's the smallest thing that you can do right now that can just take you one step closer to what you're trying to achieve. Now, here's a quick example. I remember when I first started trying to learn how to make money online and build a business online, it felt very overwhelming because after you go down this rabbit hole of YouTube University, as I like to call it, where there's so many different ways and tactics and methods and strategies to consider, it can get overwhelming. And that's not even including, okay, when you actually pick a strategy, how you actually implement that strategy. It's super stressful. And so instead of getting all bogged down in that, I made one simple decision to make one small, simple move, right? Which was, I was getting into Facebook advertising at the time. So I decided, okay, let's just clear everything out. The one thing I need to do is learn how to do Facebook ads. So I ended up purchasing a course, right? And it was a small move. It was a small action, but it was an action that got me in the right direction. Instead of feeling stuck and keeping myself in that rut, I decided to take one quick, small step. Now, this could be as simple as if you want to learn how to, play the piano, right? You can just, what's the quickest thing to get you closer to that goal, right? It might not necessarily be to go out and buy a piano. It might be just to go to Amazon and find piano lesson books and bookmark them, right? That's something that's very small, very not risky, but it's keeping you moving in that right direction. And the more you do little things like that, the quicker you'll feel unstuck and feel out of place. All right, so the second thing that you want to do has to deal with a little bit more of a mindset shift, and really comes down to understanding that when you feel overwhelmed, it's most likely because you're looking at the outcome. You're looking at the main results. What you want to do is shift your perspective from looking at that main result to looking at the process and actually embracing that and accepting it. Because when you are trying to accomplish something and you look at the end goal, what your brain is going to try and do right there, it's going to try and decipher and decode all of the little steps, nuances, and the things that you have to do in order to get that end goal. And then on top of that, just to make things fun for you, your brain also likes to do this fun thing where it thinks of all the negative situations and all of the things that could go wrong while you have to accomplish all the things that you need to do in order to get to that end goal. And then all of a sudden now you're stressing yourself out, you're full of anxiety, and you feel like you want to kind of shrink back down because things are starting to bog down, hence why you feel stuck. So instead of focusing on that end goal, focus on the process, okay? Now, this ties into taking that small step, right? No matter how small or minute it is, but when you focus more so on the process, it takes that pressure off of you of feeling stuck, because now you're not worried about necessarily delivering the result. You're just worried about taking the next logical action. And as long as you continue to do that action after action and follow that process, that result is ultimately going to come. So instead of worrying about, I feel stuck because I can't make $5,000 in my business. All right, well, that's fine. Instead of focusing on that 5K goal and getting stuck on that, focus on the process of, okay, what do I need to do to get to that point? Well, if you're building a business online, are you building an email list? Well, maybe the first goal of mine, that first step should be to get my first 100 subscribers on my email list. And then you focus on that process of, promoting a lead magnet, or you focus on that process of emailing your list. As you're focusing on that process, the stress of hitting that goal starts to dwindle down, because as you work on that process, that goal is just an inevitable outcome of the action that you're already doing. Okay, the third and final step of getting yourself unstuck is to stop attacking yourself. Now, this seems simple and it seems, kind of intuitive, but it's really not, because sometimes we just have to remind ourselves to breathe, remind ourselves that we're not perfect, remind ourselves that it's okay to feel stuck. In fact, if you're not feeling stuck, that means you're not challenging yourself. If you're not challenging yourself, it means you're not growing. And if you're not growing, it means you're dying. Right? If you're not making progress forward, you're making progress back. Energy is not created or destroyed, it's just moved. So if you're not doing something that's moving you in the direction you want to go, and you're staying stagnant, of course you're not going to feel challenged, because you're doing stuff that you are already comfortable doing. When we feel stuck, when we feel overwhelmed, it's because we're playing in that field of the unknown, where we're tampering outside of our comfort zone. And that's exactly where you want to be. That's exactly where you should be, because it's on the opposite side of that spectrum. It's on that opposite side of that comfort zone. That's where all the good things are at. That's where all the success is at. That's where all the achieving your goals are at. That's where the best version of yourself is at. But in order to get to that point, you have to understand that it's okay to feel stressed out, because you're doing things, or you're attempting things, or at least want to attempt things that you may not know how to achieve, or is just something that you're not used to doing in the first place. And that's okay. Accept that it's okay to feel stuck sometimes. Accept that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, because that should be looked at as a sign of positiveness. That should be a sign to let you know you're on the right track. Because when you do feel stuck, it means you're challenging yourself, and you want to be challenging yourself, especially if you're trying to do something like build businesses online or create, financial freedom for yourself. There are going to be moments when you're going to feel like that. And accepting it is literally going to do wonders for you, do wonders for your psyche, because you realize that, one, you're not, weird. Everybody goes through it. And two, understanding that allows you to then bring it down back to its level, right? Not put it on a pedestal, not get overwhelmed by it, and then continue to take the action that you need to take in order to make what you want to accomplish happen. All right, y'all, so those are the 3 simple steps to help you guys get unstuck. Once again, just to review, it is 1, take a small action. 2, you want to embrace the process instead of looking at the end result. And then 3, you want to make sure that at the end of the day, you realize that it is okay to be stuck, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. Embrace that and realize that it's just part of the journey, especially when you are in a space like this. All right, guys, so I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope this gave you lots of value. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with somebody that could benefit from this. And I appreciate you guys sharing this information in these videos in the first place, because that's the only way that we're growing. And so thank you so much for all of you guys who are sharing and shouting me out. I really do appreciate that. And then if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that so that you get notified every time I release a new video coming out on Fridays. And then last but not least, guys, I'm gonna leave you the same way I leave you with all my videos. Don't forget, you only live once. Make sure you're making it count.
Perfect.